The world's richest guy is set to buy one of the world's most influential social media companies. After weeks of uncertainty, Elon Musk struck a deal. The deal is done. Twitter has been sold to Elon Musk.
Alright, so it's been a couple days. If you haven't heard the news, Elon Musk has bought Twitter. So how does owning a social media platform change the game? We already know that Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook and Instagram, which are arguably even bigger platforms, and that Jeff Bezos actually owns his own news outlet, which you may have heard of this company before. In this video, we're going to talk about the possibilities why he acquired it, what he plans to do with it, and just other what-if questions for the future of this company. Quick disclaimer, I don't want to argue about politics, I don't care about politics. I hear it enough in my classes already. I don't need to hear it anymore. So this is not about that. If you think it's going to be about it, sorry to disappoint you. But with that out the way, let's continue with the video. So in a tweet that Elon made a little while ago, he talked about how does Twitter do when it comes to freedom of speech. One of the most notorious cases of there being a banning of quote-unquote free speech is when Donald Trump got, I don't want to argue about politics, I don't care about politics, I'm just saying he got banned, which by definition goes against free speech. Anyways, that's enough of that. Elon Musk tweeted out on March 25th, 2022 about how free speech is essential to a running and fully fledged democracy, and he asked, how does Twitter do that? He further then said, do you think that Twitter adheres to this? And shockingly, 70% of people said no, while 30% said yes. But underneath that, Elon also talked about be careful how you vote because there will be consequences to this voting. Elon then tweeted the next day about how after the polls came in, he talked about a possibility of an entirely new platform. And well, this is where the whole story kind of comes in. At this point, he is a shareholder and he can't get onto the board because on the board you can't own more than 15% of the company, so that prevents any changes being there. Elon expressed how bad Twitter is actually run and the potential that it has, but it cannot unlock due to the lack of leadership or whatever the case may be at the Twitter headquarters. And then on April 4th, 2022, Elon posted another poll saying, should there be an edit button? Again, to no surprise, everyone said yes. This kind of could hint at what he could do as a shareholder, but none of us really saw him buying out the company. And then, of course, after that, Elon did post a couple of things, either highlighting SpaceX or his past. And then he brought up the idea that Twitter is dying, bringing up how artists of really, really high followings only post 3 or 1 time a year, and how this is not really good considering the fact that Twitter can be for anyone and is for anyone. And then a mere 10 days later, on April 14th, Elon made an offer to Twitter for $54.20 a share. Twitter was already on the rise, so he probably did have to shell out an extra billion or so, but most sources say that he probably did spend around $44 billion actually buying the company. We'll get to that later though. In fact, if you want to, I will leave the document down below so you can go check it out for yourselves. If not, here's a few screenshots. Elon then tweeted about the cost of the shares and leaving it up to the board or the shareholders. You can check that out on this one right here. And then Elon started talking about how he was going to help clean up Twitter, getting rid of all the spam bots, making more real human authentication, and other things like that that have plagued a lot of social media, especially in recent years. And then 3 days ago, Elon tweeted this entire message, which I will let you read on screen right now. And then from there, Elon actually bought Twitter on April 25th, which to be honest quite shocked the world. So you could see this process really only took a couple weeks from him actually just being a 10% shareholder in the company to actually buying the entire company and alluding at a possible different purchase. But other than all this background information, why would Elon want to buy Twitter? Well, there's a couple popularized theories out there, one of them being the mass amount of data that Twitter presents. As you know, Tesla is not just a mere car company, but it's also a data company because it needs data for its self-driving vehicles. So that is one popularized theory. But also another popular theory is just that he wants to control something and control the minds of the people on Twitter. I don't know, take that theory as you would like. I don't want to be skeptical about that, but I also don't want to support that, so I'm just going to leave that opinion up to you guys. What do you think Elon will do with that? Do you think he's actually trying to promote free speech, trying to promote his company, or just trying to destroy the minds of people? Let me know down below, because I'd be very curious to hear both sides, or a different side of the argument that I don't even present in this video. However, Elon did state out that his plans are to make this platform a free speech platform to help democracy. That is the entire goal of this purchase. Whether that is true or not, I will leave that up to you to decide as a consumer of the product, because everyone is entitled to their own opinion. The matter is that you have your own opinion and that you can now share it on this platform, or that is at least what is being stated. Let's jump onto another main concern, and that is it Twitter now being a privatized company. Facebook and Instagram aren't technically on the market, but the parent company, Meta, or what used to just be Facebook, is now on the market. So in a way, it is kind of similar, but also kind of not, because Instagram isn't public, neither is Twitter. But if you think about it, privatized social media companies do kind of exist in this weird gray area. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying they're controlling us. I'm not saying they aren't. I am just purely stating the facts. Bezos owns the Washington Post, Zuckerberg owns Facebook and Instagram, and now Elon owns Twitter. Now I know there's already a lot of controversy and questions and theories about how the billionaires pump things into our minds, and I've heard all of that. The point being, though, is that billionaires buying social or being involved in social media companies is something that isn't new, and Elon is just purely joining in on this. The point is that billionaires owning the things that we look at almost daily isn't something new, especially when it comes to social media. So Elon already has proposed to fix Twitter, get rid of all its bots, and make it just a fun place to be where people can express themselves and talk about whatever's happening whenever it's happening. Did Elon make a good purchase? Only time will tell. Do people agree with this purchase, and do people already disagree with this purchase? Of course, people agreeing on something is never going to happen. Is it for the good intention? A lot of people are hoping so. Could it possibly turn out to blow up in his face? Also possibly. There's just a lot of variables that will come into play as time goes on, and once Twitter is officially taken private, then that's when we will all start seeing differences in results quicker than we are right now in this early phase of transferring it into Elon's portfolio. The point of this video is that Elon actually bought Twitter to hopefully make it a better platform for people to express themselves and really just enjoy life. There's always going to be disagreements and arguments with humans. That's just the way it's going to be. You don't always have to agree to the person next to you, in front of you, behind you, or with you. But the point being is that we can all share our ideas and truly be the democracy which America was logically founded on. With all that being said, what are your thoughts? Is Elon buying Twitter just another tax write-off, or is this actually the future of social media? Because we already have seen multiple social media platforms try to come out and compete, but just fail. So do you think Elon can expand this to what a Facebook is, or do you think it's going to crash and burn? I'm genuinely curious, and as more stuff happens, I will continue to make updates if that is what you want to see. With all that being said, a lot has happened over the past 4 days, and I don't expect this slowing down anytime soon. If you want to see an update video possibly in the near future, something major happens, make sure you hit the bell icon, that way you're notified when the next video comes out. And I also have a review dropping in a week. I know this is normally a tech channel, but I figured with this a massive thing and Elon being so into tech, I feel like it was worth making a video about, and also just to expand my audience. With that all being said, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, make sure to hit the like button, and if you really enjoyed it, then make sure to subscribe. Make sure you stay tuned for a possible update on this video, and with that all being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.